First at 4, a legal victory for the parents of the Oxford school shooter, why their trial is on hold, and what happens next. President Joe Biden back in Michigan today. We're going to talk about the message he's bringing to our state and about his labor flip-flop. And here's Kim.
A wind advisory goes into effect at 4 a.m. and lasts all the way through 10 o'clock Wednesday night. Wind gusts could be as high as 45 miles per hour. I'll have your forecast straight ahead.
This Giving Tuesday, we're talking about giving the gift of warmth. We're partnering with Thaw to help our neighbors in need, and the phone lines are open. So grab a pen, take down the number that's on your screen there, and give us a call in just a few minutes. We'll tell you exactly how far your donations will go.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Karen Drew. First at 4, Michigan's Supreme Court has handed the parents of the Oxford school shooter a legal victory. The trial of James and Jennifer Crumbley is now on hold. Kimberly Gill in the newsroom this afternoon to explain what's going on. And Kim, this ruling comes at a very emotional time for the community.
Karen, good afternoon. The new ruling comes the day before the one-year anniversary of the shooting spree that left 4 students dead and 6 other people injured at Oxford High School. So the Crumbleys are charged with involuntary manslaughter, but they're trying to get those charges tossed out. Michigan's Supreme Court has ordered the state appeals court to review if there's enough evidence of causation to send the Crumbleys to trial. Prosecutors took the unusual step of charging Ethan Crumbly's parents, claiming they ignored his mental health needs and made a gun accessible to their teenage son. His parents argue, though, they had no idea their son was planning to commit multiple homicides. An Oakland County judge previously ruled there was enough evidence for the Crumbleys to go to trial. The mother of one of the students killed has said she supports the charges against them. Listen.
I hope they get the max sentence as well. And I hope it sets a lesson to other parents. You know, there's many ways that this could have been prevented, and everybody involved needs to be held accountable.
And that's part of an interview Sean Lay did just yesterday. You'll hear more from those Oxford parents coming up tonight on Local 4 News at 5. Prosecutors are not commenting on the new ruling, but there is a gag order in the case. The Crumbleys' jury selection was scheduled for January 17th. That is now on hold, and it's not clear when the Court of Appeals will take up the case. For now, Karen, we'll send it back to you.
All right, we appreciate it, Kim. Meantime, there are more developments this afternoon surrounding the Oxford shooting, including another legal twist. First, the confessed 16-year-old shooter was in court for a status check. Because Ethan Crumbley is still a juvenile, the judge must review his status every month and then answer the question if Crumbley should stay in the adult Oakland County jail. The answer this month was yes, once again. Crumbley has pleaded guilty to the charges against him and should be sentenced in the new year. A group known as Change for Oxford is amending its lawsuit against the school district. That group is now seeking class action status. The original suit included 19 student plaintiffs. If the suit is amended, all students in the Oxford school district would become part of that legal action. The group isn't seeking monetary damages, but wants a federal court order requiring the district to enforce and update safety procedures. Tomorrow, the one-year anniversary of the shooting. The Oxford School District will not hold classes, and students can spend some time with family or maybe take some time to serve others. At 12:51 p.m., there will be a moment of silence to remember the victims lost and support those who survived. Governor Whitmer has ordered all flags on public buildings to be flown at half-staff. Tomorrow on Local 4 Plus, we are going to mark the anniversary with special coverage of how students are moving through their grief and also fighting against gun violence. Make sure to join anchor Christy McDonald for Oxford Strong 1 year later on your favorite streaming device. Well, 2 brothers wrongfully convicted of murder in Oakland County have filed a $125 million lawsuit. George and Melvin DeJesus were convicted in the rape and murder of Margaret Midkiff in Pontiac back in 1995. They're accusing a detective on the case and a polygraph expert of framing them with help from another suspect who admitted to rape but testified the brothers forced him to assault the victim before they murdered her. The brothers' convictions have been tossed. They are now free, but they say the impact on their lives was devastating.
I went to prison when I was 18 years old. I didn't get out again until I was 45. And within that time, I lost family members. I didn't have a kid. I've never been married. You know, all of that has been taken from me. And one of the strongest reasons of filing this lawsuit is we want to know why.
Oakland County is the third defendant in the suit. Today, the sheriff's office released a statement saying, quote, obviously this case goes back more than 25 years preceding Sheriff Bouchard's tenure. More facts will need to be gathered because none of the people involved still work here. If there's one thing we know about Michigan weather, it's always changing, right? Rain and wind on the way. Kim Adams always watching our exact Track 40 radar, so we should be okay this evening?
Yes, this evening we're fine. You will notice the winds are picking up, but the temperature will stay right around 50 degrees, so it will be mild tonight. Big change, though, 24 hours from now, where it's going to feel more like it's in the 20s. Wind advisory goes into effect at 4 a.m. overnight tonight and continues until 10 o'clock tomorrow night. We could see gusts as high as 40 to 45 miles per hour. Right now, we've got south-southwesterly winds, and they are at about 25 to maybe a 28 mile per hour gust. So it's still breezy today, but nothing like what we will have tomorrow. 50 right now at City Airport, 51, City Airport's 51, Metro's 50, Pontiac 48. So if you are headed out this evening, it will be dry, but after 8 o'clock tonight, we will see a few showers develop, and those will continue through the morning hours tomorrow. I'll have more on the wind and the colder temps tomorrow coming up in your forecast.
Thank you, Kim. We do have some breaking news right now from near Bay City as President Joe Biden is making another visit to Michigan, his second in about 2 months. The president's plane landed just before 2 p.m. He is in Michigan to highlight what he calls good manufacturing jobs. He's visiting a semiconductor plant that's run by a South Korean company to highlight a $300 million expansion. The president celebrating the successes from his first 2 years in office.
Strengthening American manufacturing. We've created more jobs in the first 2 years of any presidency, 735,000 manufacturing jobs. And we're still counting. And Michigan will once again become the manufacturing hub of the nation, and that's not a joke. Because when I got to
President Biden was last in Michigan for the auto show, and that was back in September. Well, before the president came to Michigan, he asked Congress to block a possible railroad strike before next month's deadline. The president says he hates to force an agreement for the railroad workers, but a shutdown would devastate the U.S. economy. 4 unions have rejected the deal over concerns about sick leave and quality of life issues. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says the House will take up the legislation this week without changing any of the terms. Democratic Senate Bernie Sanders has said he wants to improve the deal, which could slow approval in the Senate. The latest strike deadline is December 9th. Our Gift of Warmth telethon is now in its 11th hour. Pam Osborne is with the volunteers right now, raising money to keep many of our neighbors warm this winter. Pam, I understand you do have a special guest with you.
Well, Karen, I have quite a few. I've made a lot of friends here. There are people waiting to take your phone call right now. You can donate at the number at the bottom of your screen there. Also joined by Santil Jenkins. She's the CEO of the Heat and Warmth Fund. And first, let's just update people. Where are we at with donations right now?
We're over $80,000 and growing, thanks to all the generous donors out there.
And so the goal today is $150,000. That's what we're talking about here. But also, since we've been speaking, you've been saying that we've also been getting a lot of phone calls from people who are in need of this help.
Yes, absolutely. We have wonderful people calling to donate, but we have just as many people who are calling our volunteers saying, how can I get help? My family and I need help.
The need is so great right now. So if you could just speak to where these donations go, who are we helping here?
So we're helping families like, my mom and dad, when I was a kid, thought helped our family. We're helping seniors, we're helping veterans, we're helping working people who are just trying to make ends meet, but they're struggling with inflation.
Yeah, and so if you are wondering just how far your money is going to go, $3.50 can cover a full day of electricity for an entire family. $50 provides Wi-Fi for a family for a month, and $110 pays a month of utilities for a family of 4. So again, if you could just speak to these donations, we are open until 7 o'clock. Just tell us about that.
Yeah, the donations make a difference between whether a kid is doing homework in the dark or going to sleep in a coat. It makes a difference for mothers who are trying to make sure that their babies are warm, or someone who's on a breathing machine and doesn't have electricity. you know, it makes all the difference in the world.
And these are our neighbors, and that number is at the bottom of your screen there. You can also donate at clickondetroit.com. We hope to be hearing from you soon. Karen, I'll send things back to you in the studio.
The need is definitely great. We do appreciate all of your time and help, and we'll check back later at 5 and 6. Thanks, Pam.